Tyrannosaurs. Okay guys, welcome back to my channel, where today we're going to be ranking Tyrannosaurs. Well, mostly Tyrannosaurs. I have one exception, bear with me. But yeah, Tyrannosaurs, who doesn't know Tyrannosaurs? One of the most well-known types of group of theropods ever. Like, we know so much about them. They're so abundant. And, well, today we're going to be ranking most of them objectively, of course, yes, on my own, by my own opinion. So it's gonna be correct. But yeah, we have a lot of them, so we better start quick right away with ALIORAMUS. We're gonna start with ALIORAMUS. So we have a Tyrannosaur from Mongolia, Asia, in general. So ALIORAMUS, very small Tyrannosaur. Very slender, gracile, and long-snouted. This is one of those morphs where the Tyrannosaur is like a little lanky, have long legs, so we can assume it was a fast runner. And yeah, as it said before, it had a slender snout, but it was also really small, which suggests it wasn't the apex predator of its environment, which is weird for a Tyrannosaur, but you know, they come in various different sizes. That's the thing with Tyrannosaurs. But we, some things that ALIORAMUS brings to the table are, yeah, that it's really fast and really small. Probably a generalist, and it probably hunted like small oviraptorosaurs from its environment, because that was Mongolia, and there were some big things over there. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna go B tier. We're gonna put in B tier. ALBERTOSAURUS. So we're gonna move on to North America with ALBERTOSAURUS. Now, ALBERTOSAURUS is a favorite of mine. We have found a ton of skeletons of ALBERTOSAURUS, which some people suggest it might have been a gregarious animal. Yes, which might have lived in families. Which is not 100% sure. We're not 100% sure, since we can't infer, family or pack behavior from fossils. Although we can make some suggestions. Depends. It's got to be a really exceptional find, and this was one, since a ton of them were found together, dead. Which means that yes, they probably died at the same time, but probably died in something like a mass flood or something, like a natural disaster. But yeah, ALBERTOSAURUS is a big Tyrannosaur, although it is from the tribe Albertosaurini, which means they were the gracile ones. Not as gracile as ALIORAMUS, since it was way bigger. But yeah, we can see this more slender snout compared to other Tyrannosaurs. And yeah, as you can guess, by the name ALBERTOSAURUS, it was found in, yes, Alberta, Canada. It lived with a ceratopsian, Pachyrhinosaurus. We talked about it in another video. But ALBERTOSAURUS probably fed on these guys, and we can start seeing a cool thing I like to call good old battle between Rexes and ceratopsians. We're going to see a lot of them, and various examples of them. So, ALBERTOSAURUS, it's a really cool guy. I'm gonna go with A tier. What makes it better than ALIORAMUS? It's bigger and it's cooler. It's got that's not as speedy, but way faster than any other thing its size. DASPLETOSAURUS. Okay, so we have here another Tyrannosaur from North America. This time from the States, or I think it's also been found in Canada. Now that I think about it, but yeah, DASPLETOSAURUS is a more robust Tyrannosaur, although not to its full potential, like we'll see later. But DASPLETOSAURUS is pretty big. Hunted the ceratopsian centrosaur, which was also found in fossil beds. We also found some DASPLETOSAURUS juveniles together with a couple adults, which also suggests that they probably formed small families. But, that is all inferred from, the fact that they died together. But no, yeah, Daspletosaurus, we actually have 3 species of Daspletosaurus, Horneri, and we actually have 2. So it's Horneri and Wilsoni. Yes, I forgot about them. But no, yeah, they got 2 species, I think. Well, I think there's a 3rd one, but I might have invented that in my head. But no, yeah, we actually inferred a ton from the skulls of these guys because they are so remarkably preserved that we might have found some way of saying that yes, theropods could have lips, because of the rugosities on the skull, like right above where the teeth would be. Yeah, so theropods might have lips, contrary to popular belief, or what some people would say are like not possible at all. So Daspletosaurus, I'm gonna put in A tier as well. NANUQSAURUS. Okay, so we're going even more north. We're going for NANUQSAURUS. So NANUQSAURUS is a bit of a wild card here because, for one thing that I'm gonna give it to it is that the fact that it lived so far north, it probably was a little bit feathered, or mostly feathered, but we don't know that yet. In Prehistoric Planet, we can see that it was very feathered as well. It looks so freaking cool in that show as well. However, NANUQSAURUS is mostly inferred from the front part of a mandible. Yes, we don't have a ton of NANUQSAURUS. We can barely even tell what size it might have been, or what if it was a juvenile or an adult or almost anything. We just know it was a Tyrannosaur. So most of the cool things are just like inferred from other Tyrannosaurs. There is a cool thing that it would be really cool if it was like a fully feathered Tyrannosaur. We can find one, but no, NANUQSAURUS for now. It's just very fragmentary. So I'm sorry, Nanook. As cool as you look, you are gonna be a C tier. Although you have a sick ass name as the polar bear lizard, QIANZHOUSAURUS. Okay, so QIANZHOUSAURUS is a Chinese Tyrannosaur. I kind of balled it here. Like, I don't know how you would correctly pronounce it. QIANZHOUSAURUS. But it's a Chinese Tyrannosaur. One of the morphs, which are the very slender and gracile ones, also showed up in Prehistoric Planet. Sick ass design as well. Also known as the Pinocchiosaurus. Pinocchiosaurus Rex, we should call it now, since it had a really long snout compared to the other long-snouted ones, which is, saying something, because Albertosaurus and ALIORAMUS already have like elongated skulls, so the fact that you are known as the long-ass nose one, you have to be very special for that. But no, yeah, QIANZHOUSAURUS, really cool animal. If you could see, it's not as big as those big-ass Tyrannosaurs like Alberto or Daspleto, or which one, but it's not as small as ALIORAMUS. So that would put it in like a, not medium, well, yeah, medium size. For Tyrannosaurs, yes, definitely a medium size. It might have some very sparse filament feathering, which is also cool to see, since, in China we have the most amount of feather evidence for dinosaurs in general, and another, not Tyrannosaur, but we'll see it later. QIANZHOUSAURUS, I want to say, it's a good B tier. Good B tier, probably hunted, small oviraptors as well. YUTYRANNUS. So this is the other guy that I was saying that we have a lot of evidence for feathers, since we found that almost articulated, whole ass articulated skeleton, like just imprinted. And yeah, it had feathers impressed on the rock, so it's actually a kind of insane fossil. If you look for a YUTYRANNUS fossil, it's insane how complete it is. But yeah, so YUTYRANNUS is not a Tyrannosaur It's a Tyrannosauroid, which means it was a little earlier in the tree, lived a little earlier in the Cretaceous. However, it is pretty freaking awesome. I wanted to include it here because it's a very different Tyrannosaur, obviously, because it's a Tyrannosauroid. However, the fact that it has not 2 fingers, which is a signature of Tyrannosaurs, but it has 3 actually. So this was still when Tyrannosaurs had 3 digits and not missing another one. And it had a more... Their skulls are a little more slender. Elongated, yes, but not as elongated, but I would say more slender. That's how I would describe them. Also with some little crests, not insane crests like, Dilophosaurus or any of those, but, pretty substantial. You can notice them. And yes, though, definitely those featherings are doing a lot of the heavy lifting. It's so awesome. You could just imagine, like, how graceful this thing would look in real life. But no, yeah, YUTYRANNUS, also, it probably had those feathers because the climate, it couldn't have been, like, really hot. It must have been, like, a temperate climate. So, I want to say YUTYRANNUS is going to be an 8. Tyrannosaurs are freaking cool. So, GORGOSAURUS, the dreadful lizard. So, GORGOSAURUS is a Tyrannosaur that is most closely related to ALBERTOSAURUS. So, we can see those lacrimal crests, very pronounced in GORGOSAURUS. It was actually thought to be a species of Albertosaur, but no. Or I think it was the other way around. But yeah, they thought they were synonymous with Albertosaurus, but no, it's not. It's its own thing. It's found much more south in North America. And yeah, GORGOSAURUS is a really cool Tyrannosaur, medium size as well. Medium towards big. Nothing crazy though. And recently we actually found a pretty cool thing, which is a juvenile GORGOSAURUS. And you'll be asking, oh yes, so a nanotyrannus. No, I'm just kidding. That's gonna be a can for another video. But we found a juvenile GORGOSAURUS with rests of another dinosaur, an oviraptorosaur, in its gut. So we can definitely say that juveniles and adults probably ate different things, which contradicts a little bit of the gregarious, family dynamic that other fossil finds found in other tyrannosaurs. But, could be that GORGOSAURUS was just, a lonely dinosaur, and, and ALBERTOSAURUS was just, a family guy, so we don't know that. I mean, lions and tigers are, like, almost the same thing, but look how different they live or behave. So probably 8. The younger ones are way lankier. It probably was more adapted to eating faster moving prey, and the big ones probably ate slower, more heavily armored prey, which suggests that yes, they probably left their babies to go on their own. They probably, I don't know if they took care of them, but we don't know that yet for sure. We need to find more. Even though Tyrannosaurs, we have a ton of them. That just goes to show that paleontology changes every single time. So, GORGOSAURUS, I'm gonna say you're gonna be a solid B tier. I like GORGOSAURUS. It's pretty cool. Is it B tier? Do I like it more than ALBERTOSAURUS? I kind of want to do a switcheroo. I'm gonna put Alberto and GORGOSAURUS. The name is doing a lot of the heavy lifting here. TARBOSAURUS. Okay, so TARBOSAURUS is a pretty insane animal, comparable to Tyrannosaurus Rex. However, there are some key differences. So, compared to T-Rex, TARBOSAURUS is the Tyrannosaur with the shortest arm-to-body ratio, which means of all Tyrannosaurs, compared to their body length, their arms were the shortest. So this guy had even shorter arms than most other Tyrannosaurs in general. And their skulls, which are, Tyrannosaurs have pretty broad skulls. TARBOSAURUS does, but not as pronounced as T-Rex, which is way more slender. which means they probably filled a different niche than Tyrannosaurus Rex. So Tarbosaurus, we find him in Mongolia and Asia, and yeah, it lived with a ton of different animals, probably try to feed on everything. And no, yeah, Tarbosaurus is pretty cool. I want to say it also poses the question, like, where did Tyrannosaurs originate from? Since they were more present in Asia, earlier in Asia, and then all of a sudden they appeared in North America. But, you know, that all of a sudden didn't come out in, you know, magically. So they probably went from Asia to America. Yes, they were more connected in the back in the Cretaceous. So yeah, Tarbosaurus, an awesome looking dinosaur. If you've seen it if you've seen Prehistoric Planet, Tarbosaurus might be one of my favorite designs in that show, actually. So Tarbosaurus, I love Tarbosaurus. It's gonna be an S tier, definitely, yes. Tyrannosaurus Rex. So we're gonna end with the one, the only Tyrannosaurus Rex. You might have heard of this dinosaur. It's not very well known. Might have come in a little movie came out. Oh my god, more than 20 years ago. We're old. We're getting so old. I want to say more than 30 years old, actually. T-Rex is the biggest carnivorous animal, land predator the world has ever seen. Yes, bigger than Spinosaurus. Yes, bigger than Giganotosaurus. Because why? Size is determined by mass, not length. Length, yeah, you can be long. You know what? Anacondas are like so freaking long, or longer than an elephant. Would you say anacondas are bigger than elephants? Hell no. So the mass of T-Rex is like insane. It's like all the way from 9 to 12 tons, something like that. It's actually a cheat code to be this big and have a skull that massive. This thing munched through anything. These jaws were made to just crush bone, but not crush, just pulverize bone. And some people say Tyrannosaurus Rex is overrated. I can see why, you know. It's very overrepresented in anything. You know, T-Rex, the biggest, the coolest one. But there are some things that are true. T-Rex, I'm going to show you right here, had a freaking huge ass skull. You can see the tiny arms as well. And you can see, yes, huge skull. Their teeth were like banana sized. And those things were like thick ass teeth. And I am going to say it right here. Tyrannosaurus is S tier just from the get-go. This thing had to fight against Triceratops, which is probably the most dangerous, one of the most dangerous land animals ever. If we don't count sauropods because of their size, Triceratops with those big ass horns, nobody is touching that shit. Guess who had to brawl with it every single day of its life? Tyrannosaurus Rex is going to be uncontested S tier above everything else, and I'm not even the biggest Tyrannosaurus fan. I just have to respect the levels to this game. So that's gonna be the Tyrannosaur tier list. I know I cheated putting YUTYRANNUS in there, but you know, I wanted to talk about it. It's my tier list as well. But oh yeah, that's gonna be it for the Tyrannosaur tier list. Let me know what would you change. If you would, you know, think Tyrannosaurus is overrated and you hate it and you put it in F tier, you can do that, but I really don't think so. Just let me know in the comments, you know, comment, subscribe, everything, all of that. And thank you so much, guys, for this one time. See ya.